Today we are learning about the law of sines. So the law of sines defines the relationship between sides and angles in any triangle. So it doesn't have to be a right triangle like the ones we did yesterday. The law of sines is just saying that in any triangle A, B, and C, the ratio between sine of the angle and the side are always going to be equal to each other. So sine of your angle over the side is going to be equal no matter what angle and what side you do, as long as they match. So this can be used to solve any problem where you know at least one side angle pair and one other side or angle. So let's take a look at number 1. So for number 1, let's first start off by drawing our triangle. So it doesn't have to be to scale. And let's label it. So the capital letters are going to be my angles, and then the sides are going to be the lowercase. So each side that corresponds with the angle is going to be the one across from it. So if this is angle A, the side across from it is going to be side A. This is angle B, the side across from it is going to be side B. And this is angle C, so across from this one will be side C. So looking at we know that angle B is 35 degrees. So here's B, this is angle 35 degrees. We know that angle C is 50 degrees. So let's label angle C. And we know that side B, so this is a side now, is equal to 9. So the three things that we're looking for, because we're looking for all the missing parts, we know 2 of the angles. We're still missing the measure of side A. So that's one thing we're looking for. We're also looking for, we know side B, but we don't know A and C. So we're looking for side A and side C. Those are the 3 things we're going to look for. So to start off, because in this problem we have 2 angles, the easiest thing for us to do right away is find the next angle, because we know that all 3 of these together have to add up to give you 180. So find measure of angle A. We can just take 180 degrees and subtract the sum of the other 2 angles. So this is 180 minus 85, which leaves us with 95. So we know that the measure of angle A is 95 degrees. Now we need to find our sine. So this is where we're now going to be using our law of sines. So right now we have one pair. We know the measure of angle B and side B. So we need to find one where we have both the angle and the side. So we're going to start off with this one. This is going to be our ratio. So we have sine of 35 degrees over 9. Because this is the one where we know both of them. So now we're going to have to figure out both A and C. So let's start off with C. For C, your angle always goes on top, so we're finding the sine of the angle. So sine of 50 degrees over, I'm looking for C. So now all we need to do is solve for C. So what we're going to do is cross multiply. So multiply both sides by C and multiply both sides by 9. So the 9 and this 9 cancel out, the C and this C cancel out, so we're left with C times sine of 35 degrees equals 9 sine of 50 degrees. Now again, we're trying to get C by itself, so we're going to now divide both sides by sine of 35 to cancel this out. And we know that C is 9 sine of 50 degrees over sine of 35 degrees. And now that we have C by itself, we can put this into our calculator. Okay, so again, making sure you are in degrees mode, because we are all in degrees here, 50 degrees, 35 degrees. So if it's not in degree mode, it's not going to give you the right answer. we're going to do 9 sine of 50 degrees, close the parentheses, divided by sine of 35 degrees. And this gives us, this is a side, so this is a length. So the answer is going to be rounded to 3 decimal points. So we have 12.020. This is my side C. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing for A. So again, we're going to start off with the pair that we already know, which is your B. So we're going to still do sine of the angle divided by 9, which is the side of B. And now we're going to use A. So we want to do sine of angle A, which we found angle A, it's 95, divided by A, which is what we're looking for. Again, we're going to cross multiply, so this leaves you with A sine of 35 degrees equals 9 sine of 95 degrees. We're going to solve for A by dividing by sine of 35. And A is 9 times sine of 95 over sine of 35. So once we're here, we're going to again just plug this into our calculators. So we have 9 sine 95 divided by sine of 35. And this is going to give us our side A, which is 15.631. And that is the other missing part for this triangle. So this is problem number 1. Now let's look at problem number 2. So for number 2, again we're going to start off by drawing our triangle. And let's label, here's A, B, C. And then across from angle A is side A, across from angle B is side B, across from angle C is side C. And in this case, we know A is equal to 10, C is equal to 7, and we know angle C is equal to 30 degrees. So what's missing from this triangle, we know angle C, but we don't know the measure of angle A or the measure of angle B. And then we know A and C, but we don't know the length of side B. So here are the 3 things that I'm looking for. And so unlike our past problem, we can't just go in and solve for the other angle because we only have one angle. So we can't use the 3 angles add up to 180. What we do have is a pair. We have both C and C. So we can start off right away with sine of your angle over the side, making sure they match. These two are both C's. The other one we know is A is equal to 10. So we can set this up to find big A. Be careful here, this A is not your angle, it's your side length. So make sure that this goes at the bottom. We're looking for your angle, which is this A, so sine of A. Again, we're going to cross multiply, so we have, well, in this case we don't even need to cross multiply because we're trying to get sine A by itself. So we can just multiply both sides by 10. And this gives us 10 sine of 30 degrees equals sine A. And just like before, over 7. Just like before, we want to solve for the angle. So whenever you're trying to solve for the angle, you have to use the inverse of sine. So we're going to be taking the inverse sine of this entire thing. And that's going to give us angle A. So let's go into our calculators. We're going to press second sine, 10 sine of 30 degrees, divided by 7. And this is going to give us our angle, and again, because this is the degrees, we're going to just round to the nearest whole number, so this is just 46 degrees. So we know measure of angle A, which is 46. Now that we have two angles, we can again do what we did in our other problem to find our third angle, where we just have to subtract from 180. So all three of them together give you 180. So we're going to subtract 46 plus 30, because those are my other two angles. So 180 minus 76, which is going to give us 104. So I know that the measure of angle B is 104. And the last thing I need to find is my side B. So now we're going to go back to our law of sines. We're going to again start off with the pair that we already know, so the 30 and the 7. So we have sine of 30 degrees over 7 is equal to, we're trying to find B, so now we're going to use sine of, we know the angle, so 104 goes on top. We don't know the side, so that B goes on the bottom. Let's again cross multiply, so we have B times sine of 30 degrees equals 7 times sine of 104. We're trying to solve for B, so divide both sides by sine of 30, and we get B is equal to 7 sine 104 divided by sine of 30. And this is what we're putting into our calculators. And we end up with a B value of 13.584. And that is the last missing piece. So here are my three answers for this problem.